Our next story is from France, where President Macron has reshuffled his cabinet. He has picked a new prime minister. His name is Gabriel Attal. He's the youngest ever prime minister, also the country's first PM who's openly gay. Before today's announcement, he was serving as the education minister of France. But why was this shake-up necessary? Because President Macron is facing a crisis of relevance. His popularity has dipped. His government has suffered a series of setbacks. They've seriously damaged Macron's credibility. So this appointment is an attempt at political reinvention. President Macron wants to be relevant again. Can his new prime minister help him? Our next report explores.
Gabriel Attal reminds a lot of French lawmakers of Emmanuel Macron. He's young, someone who didn't have the perfect CV, but climbed through the political ladder in record time. Attal's presence will infuse a new energy in Macron's cabinet. He's the youngest Prime Minister of France, also the first openly gay leader of government, and a popular face within the Macron government. The credentials are certainly eye-catching, but they don't guarantee success in this job. Attal will step into a challenging political landscape. He faces a fractured lower house. His leadership will be tested by a rising far right. But his biggest problem stems from the president himself. Macron is no longer the most popular leader in France. Marine Le Pen, the face of the French far right, has gotten ahead. And she's not just winning the popularity contest. Le Pen is gaining influence in the French parliament too. Last month, she checkmated Macron. The French government had introduced a bill. It would have reset the immigration rules and speed up hearings on asylum cases. The government also wanted greater powers to expel immigrants. The bill would have enabled that, but it was defeated in Parliament thanks to Le Pen's efforts. She engineered a coalition of opposition parties. The lawmakers didn't even debate the bill. The proposed law was rejected. The bill was passed a few days later, but Macron had to accept a compromise and adopt harsher immigration policies. The new version of the bill introduced migration quotas and delayed access to welfare benefits for migrants. It was a bill that Macron didn't want, but he was forced to accept it.
This text which is coming out is the fruit of this compromise. Is this the government's text? No.
The one you wanted?
No, obviously not. There are things in the law that I'm not going to tell you I'm thrilled about, that I find great.
Macron's biggest weakness was laid bare by that exchange. He doesn't command a majority in parliament, and he's steadily losing supporters. Since being re-elected in 2022, Macron has struggled to govern and stumbled from one crisis to the next. His ambitious pension reform was met with a strong backlash. On the world stage, Macron has tried to lead Europe, but he ended up inviting more criticism for his suggestions. The French president also suffered humiliation in Africa. Last year, his military was asked to leave Niger. Niger is a former French colony and served as a linchpin for French influence in the region. But Niger's new military junta ended that. They're getting closer to Russia now. Macron's agenda has been derailed. Gabriel Attal has been tasked with putting the government back on track. But as he takes on a bigger role in government, he will be confronted with Macron's limitations.